your contribution. All right, it's my pleasure to introduce Will. Will was born and raised in Twin Falls, graduated from Twin Falls High School in 2010. He went to the U.S. Olympic Training Center after graduation, trained there for 4 years. In the meantime, he competed nationally and internationally. His grandparents are DeVoe and Colleen Brown, and his parents are Dan and Susan Brown. So won't you join me in welcoming our Olympian Will as our presentation.
Thank you. My name is Will Brown. I was on the 2016 Olympic team. I shoot 2 of the shooting events. I shoot 10-meter air pistol and 50-meter free pistol. In those events, I finished 12th and 10th respectively. So, also, I'm supposed to introduce my parents. This is Dan and Susan Brown. And also my younger brother, Wyatt. So if you need a builder or a realtor, they're all right there.
Awesome.
So I'm just going to kind of give you a little quick overview of how I got to where I am. I grew up here in Twin Falls. I went to Twin Falls High School, graduated in 2010. I grew up in a hunting and shooting family. I took my hunter's ed class here, and my family used to shoot just recreationally around here and downtown at the Twin Falls Rifle and Pistol Club. One evening when I was about 14, my dad and I were down there shooting, and I ran into a guy named John Pitts. John Pitts is a rifle coach from Kansas, and he had approached me while my dad and I were down there one evening and asked me if I wanted to try international rifle shooting. And I was quick to say yes. And from that point, he gave me some gear and a rifle, and I started practicing with him. He took me to a few local and state matches where I shot, and my dad would travel with me. From there, we used to shoot matches in Blackfoot, Idaho, and there I met a man named Randy Shikashio, and he was involved with USA Shooting, who's the national governing body for the Olympic shooting sports here in the U.S. He got me involved in the pistol shooting, and from there I started shooting the state matches that were sanctioned by USA Shooting, and I'd shoot state and national matches with USA Shooting and ones that the NRA put on. At those matches, there was one match called the State Junior Olympic match, and at that match, as a junior athlete, so if you're under the age of 21, you're considered a junior in this sport. There, I was able to qualify for the National Junior Olympic competition. And at the National Junior Olympics is where if you make the top 2 places there, it puts you on the national junior team, and you get to go down to the training center in Colorado Springs and go through a training camp, and then they'll normally send you to an international match. So that's what I shot the national juniors from 2007 to 2011, and from 2009 to 2011, I won all the pistol events that I shot. In 2010, so in 2009 was when I first made the national junior team, and then 2010 was when I moved down to the training center. But earlier in that year, I shot my first international match, which was in Munich, Germany. It's a very large international match that the team shoots every year, and it's just very large. It's one of the biggest matches that we have every year outside of our World Cups and the Olympics. At that match, I competed in the junior division. I won that match, set a national junior record there, and then from there I moved down to the training center in Colorado Springs. I trained there for 4 years, and then even as a junior, I made the open team, and so I started competing with the open team at our World Cups. Every year in the shooting events we have, much like World Cup soccer, it's kind of the same thing, only we have 4 World Cups every year. And at those World Cups, are where you can earn. Well, that plays in it plays into our world rankings, and then also it's where you can qualify yourself and also your country for the Olympic Games. And so in 2013 was the year I first won a World Cup. I won the air pistol event at World Cup USA, which was held in Fort Benning, Georgia in 2013. And then I won another silver medal at a World Cup just this last year in Thailand. The shooting sports have kind of taken me all over the world. I think I've been to over a dozen countries. This morning before I came here, I tried to sit down and remember all of them, but I couldn't. So I'd have to look up results. But and then so I'll just kind of explain one other thing. First I'll explain our events. So the events I shoot are, like I said, 10-meter air pistol and 50-meter free pistol. For the men's events, we shoot 60 competition shots for the qualification round. We shoot, I brought my guns, so I'll just show you. So this is the air pistol that I shoot. This is a Steyr. It's made in Austria. It runs on compressed air. So this piece right here is the cylinder that removes. I got an extra one here. These guns run on about 3,000 psi. And for our competition, you have to shoot open sights. It has to be single shot, and we shoot all of it one-handed. So for the qualification round, in both the events, we shoot 60 competition shots. You have a possible 600 points. For the 10-meter airgun event, which at 10 meters is about 33 feet, our 10 ring is a centimeter. So that's about the size of a dime. And kind of competitive scores in the air pistol event are around and above 580. So we're hitting the 10 ring, 90% of the 95% of the time or whatever. And then for the for the free pistol event, we shoot a 22 pistol. They call it free pistol just because there's only a handful of rules as far as your equipment goes. So basically the gist of it is it has to be a 22 long rifle, it has to be a single shot, it has to be iron sights, and you have to shoot it with one hand, and that's about it. So this gun that I have, there's some assembly required. It doesn't fit in the box put together, so. This is the free pistol. So, and then on both of these pistols, I have electronic trigger groups. And if you guys are interested and want to see these when we're done, you can come up and see me. But also this grip, both of these guns have custom grips. So this grip actually fits around my hand. I kind of wear it like a glove. And for the free pistol event, it's at 50 meters or 55 yards. Our 10 ring is 2 inches. And for most of you that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's really small and really challenging. So after our 60 shot qualification rounds, they take the top 8 finishers and we shoot an elimination style finals match. So after the qualification round, the top 8 guys go into the finals match, all starting over at 0. It's just like a track and field final where your score doesn't carry over or anything like that. And it's kind of, so you shoot, if you make it all the way to the end of the final, you end up shooting 20 shots. Every shot you shoot is on command. Throughout the final, there's an announcer that announces your place and rank as well as everyone else's. They tell you how far ahead you are, how far behind you are. there's loud music, cheering, and jeering. So it's not like when you're putting on the 18th hole down here at the golf course. So for on the U.S. team to qualify for the Olympics, like I said earlier, first we have to qualify your country. So in 2014, was it 2014? In 2014 was the first year for this quad we were able to start qualifying our country. So you have to earn quota places for your country. Each country is allowed 2 quota places or spots for each event. And those have to be earned at the World Championships or World Cups leading up to the game, and then a few other continental championships. I was able to win a quota place for our country in the 10-meter air pistol event, and I won that at the Championship of the Americas down in Guadalajara, Mexico. That event, there was only 1 quota place available, so I had to win it, and that's what I did. I went down there and won the event on the final shot. And then where I shoot 2 events, I can still only earn 1 quota place. So once I earn a quota place in one event, I'm kind of burned. I can't do it in another. So luckily I had a teammate at the Army Marksmanship Unit, Jim Henderson. He won a quota place for us in the free pistol event. And it's kind of a complicated thing, but the way it works out is we were able to we sent 2 guys to the Olympics, but we both shot both events. So, So then after you qualify your country for the Olympics, then in the U.S. you have to qualify yourself. So we have 2 ways to make the Olympic team. You either earn it through a point system, where you earn points based on your finish at those World Cups and continental championships. And once you meet a certain threshold, then you're an automatic placement onto the team. And if not enough people do that, or nobody does that, then it goes down to a selection process. So we had, which is actually how I earned my spot. We had a 2-part competition. The first part was in December, and then the next part was in June, I believe. And the first part I won by 17 points. And then, unfortunately, those points didn't carry over to the second part, so I had to start over. And I ended up winning by a very close margin. That was another match that I had to win on 1 shot. But that put me on the Olympic team, and that's kind of where I ended up. If you guys have any questions, yes.
Could you describe your typical training day?
Yeah. So for me, when I'm in the middle of the season or whatever, when I'm training the most, I shoot between 5 and 6 days a week, and I'm on the range between 2 and 4 hours each day. And then in addition to that, I spend time in the gym too. Yes, ma'am.
How much do you spend on ammo a year?
I don't spend anything on ammo. Yeah. Fortunately for me, the U.S. team supplies all my training and ammo and stuff like that. Yes.
Describe your target again. So 33 feet.
Yeah. So 33 feet. Yeah, 33 feet. So from me to you, I'm shooting at a dime.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Did you give a scope?
No optics. So I'm just iron sights.
Old people, we can't see that far.
Well, you only have to, the good thing about it is you only have to see this far. You just have to see your sights. If you can see a black blob down there, you're going to do all right.
How much do the guns weigh?
The air pistol event, we're maxed out at 1 kilo. So it has to weigh less than a kilo, which is 2.2 pounds. And then the free pistol event, there is no weight restriction. So it can be as heavy as you want it to. I think my gun probably weighs 2 pounds. You have a question?
How do you finance all your travel? Do you have
That's,
personal help?
now that I'm on the team, they cover all of my travel expenses as well. So I don't have any expenses as far as that goes most of the time. But
He's always been on the team, thank goodness.
Yes, ma'am.
Like you were talking in your last shot you hadn't made.
Yeah.
What are you thinking or not thinking, or how do you prepare yourself for that?
I guess when I'm shooting anytime, I try to keep it as simple as possible. It's just like any other sporting event. There are certain fundamentals that you have to perform perfectly every time in order to have a good result. And shooting is no different. So that's basically, I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible and focus on those fundamentals and perform them well. Yes, sir.
Looking ahead, I know you take it one Olympics at a time,
Mhm.
but reasonably, do you think you have a shot at doing 3 more Olympics, 5 more Olympics?
We had a shooter on our team this year, and this was his 6th Olympics. So that's what I would like to do. Yes.
How many total shooters in one of the Olympic events?
In each Olympic event, it depends on the event. But for example, in my 2 events, I think they limited the field to about 50. So it's 50 top shooters in the world, basically. Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the Olympics itself.
Um,
What it was like down there and the other people and all that.
I didn't get Zika. That really wasn't as big of a problem as I made it out to be, thank goodness. I think I saw about half a dozen mosquitoes the whole time I was there. So, I was there for 2.5 weeks. I stayed in the athlete village. We stayed, really the most surprising thing about the Olympics to me was just the magnitude of the athlete village. I don't know if you guys saw pictures of it or heard about it. But there were about 10,000 people staying in the athlete village. Just the U.S. team alone, we had 550 athletes, and we were all staying in the same building. I think they had about 30 apartment buildings that were all 18 floors, and they were full. And the dining hall for all the athletes was about 3 football fields long, and it was jam-packed the whole time. But as far as Rio goes, it's a beautiful country. The people are all very friendly. I really don't have a whole lot bad to say about it. It's not the cleanest place ever, but we all knew that going in. So, yes, ma'am.
Did you watch any other sporting events when you were down?
Just on TV. It was kind of unfortunate. But just the way my training and competition schedule was, and then the way the layout of the venues were, I didn't get time to do any of that. But anyway, yes.
You might have mentioned, but is it all indoors or just some?
No. So the free pistol event is outdoor, and the air pistol event is indoor.
Yeah, just for wind.
Yep. Wind, lighting conditions, all that. So, any other questions? Yes.
So do you work out so that you stay steady?
Yeah. It's you kind of develop a steady hold just from training, just from shooting. But outside of that, being in shape mostly just helps me out with, I would say, the travel. When you're going, when we're going to Europe or something like that, and you're having to deal with an 8-hour time change, it just makes that go a little easier. But anything else? Yes.
How did you feel about your Olympic performance?
It was, the scores I posted were not my best results ever. But honestly, as far as my mental performance, those were 2 of the best matches I've ever shot, and so it's kind of hard to feel too bad about them. In the free pistol event, I was 1 point out of the final, so basically 1 point, one shot, one shot could have been another millimeter closer to the center, and I could have been in medal contention. And in the air pistol event, it was about the same. So I don't feel too bad about it, but I would like to do better next time. Anything else?